Hello, welcome to our UROS project entitled Distant Music, partnered with Lincoln Cathedral Library. This was undertaken by me, Megan Lomas, and Valerie Arindra, supervised by Claire Arand and Hope Willard. The Cathedral Library holds a collection of music manuscripts and documents, which we set out to research and catalogue, eventually working towards a collection-level description to make the collection discoverable in the online database Cecilia. Our aims for the research were to find composers with important connections to Lincoln, to discover other places of significance, and to highlight people of interest, perhaps who are more well known. The overall hope for the project was to revitalise the collection and make it accessible to other academics and musicians. In terms of methodology, our primary resource was the collection itself, of course, from which we were able to pull a list of composers. This formed the basis of our research into individual composers and the larger system of institutions they existed within. An issue with this list was that, as was common at the time, many composer names don't have a consistent spelling. For example, Thomas Tudway is also spelt Tedway, and there are 6 different spellings of Pelham Humphreys. You also encounter things such as a lack of a first name entirely and only a denotion of Mr. or Doctor. The majority of our investigation was based in secondary research, including looking at books and journal articles, at the online archives of other cathedrals, and at online resources such as Oxford Music Online. The archives of other cathedrals were imperative to working out what language we needed to use on our own description. We identified a few key institutions and roles connecting our collection composers. Firstly, the Master of Choristers or Choir Master post at the Chapel Royal, as shown in the first timeline. Chapel Royal is the clergy and musicians which serves the British monarch and has been in practice since the time of Henry VIII, coincidentally another of our composers. Chapel Royal taught a significant group of our collection composers, including Pelham Humphrey, Henry Purcell, and William Turner. William Turner was one of those who later became the Master of Choristers. We have used MuseScore, digital notation software, to transcribe the tenor and bass parts and produce a MIDI recording of one of Turner's pieces, called Behold Now Praise Ye Lord. To hear this, please refer to the first QR code. Another key position is, of course, the Lincoln Cathedral organist, shown in the second timeline. The organist of any institution was essentially the musical director, and to an extent the house composer, so it's no surprise that there are so many Lincoln organists in our collection. 2 of these are Thomas Allinson and George Holmes, whose pieces we have also transcribed. QR code 2 leads you to Allinson's Behold, God is My Salvation, and QR code 3 to Holmes's Hear My Crying, O God. The collection level description is still in progress due to the huge number of documents with which we were presented. However, we conducted much research into the formatting and language for this, including into cathedral archives and also at the other archives on the database Cecilia. And crucial groundwork has been laid for the project to be picked up by other students or internally within the Cathedral Library. In conclusion, we've successfully begun the process of making the collection fully digitised and available to whoever may want to access it, whether that be academics embarking on further study or choirs wanting to perform the collection pieces. We wholly intend to continue to digitise pieces and through this further understanding create the collection level description. Our more long-term creative goal is to commission performances of a selection of the pieces in order to truly bring the music back to life. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to look further into any of this, please refer to our references or to the recommendations where we show the Michael Honeywood collection, which was bought by the British Library from Lincoln Cathedral in 1914 and is already documented on Cecilia. Thank you again to our supervisors Claire Arand and Hope Willard, and to Cynthia Jolly, who helped to create the list of composers.